Hey, Facebook, how are you? This is Kendra with Uplifting Conversations with Kendra. So glad to see you this evening. Thank you for joining us and watching us. Now, let's get into this theme song. Uplifting conversations with Kendra. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yay! All right. Miss Alicia is here tonight. Say hello.
Hey.
She said hey. She's always so cool with it, isn't she? All right, so what I'm gonna need you to do though, just
right
lift
here?
it just a little higher. Yeah, cause see, I don't need them to see my muffins and everything. It's good to see y'all. I know y'all think I'm crazy talking about my muffins, but I be concerned cause I got whole cakes, not just muffins. Okay, enough of that. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the announcement and then we'll get to the topic. So March 26th, Saturday, we will have an uplifting event, meaning we'll have a motivational speaking event at 531 Metroplex Drive from 12 to 2. That is March 26th, Saturday, from 12 to 2, 531 Metroplex Drive. 37211 in case you put it in your phone to find the way. The tickets are $20 a piece. We're going to talk about fighting fear with fear. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this conversation and be a part of it. Okay, go on eventbrite.com, put in fighting fear with fear, and then hit the pink icon next to it that says be lifted up. All right, and if you don't want to do it that way, hit me up on Cash App. What is the dollar sign KRYOU? Okay? All right. I look forward to seeing all of you there. All right? So, good evening. Today we're going to talk about something that really kind of grates people. We kind of overlook it, but we're wrong for overlooking it because we expect God to do it for us. Today we're going to talk about long suffering. Woo, I think that's a topic I've been talking about for a minute, but I hadn't talked about it on here. Long suffering, people. Let me see. Let me get, I had to go to my Holman's Bible Dictionary. It says long suffering equals patience, which according to the Holman's Bible Dictionary is described as active endurance of opposition, not a passive resignation. You know what that means? That means you have to actively, continuously deal with people. Because you don't suffer anything long except with people. Everything else you can deal with. If I got to hold out for this, I'm good. Because, when you're by yourself, you can deal with some things. But when you got to do it with other people, in an active relationship with other people, or it's still work relationship, will still be a relationship, it's just at work. You got to be long suffering. Now, long suffering is not easy because what that means is you got to keep enduring whatever you're going through with this person until God says it's over. And I'm making that face because there are times when I was like, I ain't suffering long for nobody. I have a little patience, but I'm going to cut it off at this point. Oh, no, that's not what God says. God says you're going to do it until He cut it off. Okay, so we know that God is long suffering with us. And how do we know that? We know that because in His word, He says He hasn't come. He's not slothful like men think He's slothful. He's patient and enduring with us because He wants no one to perish and die and go to the wrong place. So He's given us ample time to get our stuff together with Him, get our relationship with Him back to where it needs to be. We need to reconcile, become friends again with Him. Okay, so we expect that, but then we don't want to do it for other people. She got one more again, and she ain't gonna do it no more. She might have just did it once last week. But she got one more again. Now, I'm not telling you to take abuse or anything like that. God is not saying that. But things that we can really work on and forgive in the moment, long suffering. Because let me tell you what had happened with Peter. Okay? In Matthew chapter 18, Verse 21, it says, Then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? Now he's asking the questions. Those are 2 questions. How often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Question 1. Question 2. Up to 7 times? Verse 22. Jesus said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. I counted that up. I believe that equals 490 times. We don't want to forgive people one time, let alone make it past 10 or 20. And what God is saying is continue to forgive. Really, the forgiveness helps you, because we know the Bible teaches in the book of Matthew that if you don't forgive your brother, God cannot forgive you. He won't forgive you of your sins. So we know people are sinning against us all the time, but forgive. He's not asking you to kiss nobody's behind. He's not even asking you to stay in the same space. But he is asking you to be long-suffering on some things. And so when you long-suffering, what I picture for me is that I'm going to get with you, and we're going to talk about it, and you're going to do your best to change. If you don't change, I have to forgive you. Then if we go through it again, you don't change, I forgive you. Okay, we're going to try to see how this is going to work on a different thing. We're going to have to change it some kind of way. I'm going to have to rock with you in a different way. I may not can throw you away or never be a friend again, because I never know what God might have, me to do for you later. But I can rock with you in a different way, meaning I ain't got to be all in your space, because I know you're going to do what it is that you do. But in the long suffering, I'm keeping myself away from being hurt or, just mistreated in any kind of way, because I done told you that it hurt or it's wrong and you keep doing it. Well, while people are learning different things, they're going to keep doing stuff over and over. Think of us as children of God. How long did it take us to learn to really do what God said to do? God is a repetitive God, and since he's going to say it 1,001 times, he does it in his word. Very repetitive, because he knows we're hard-headed and don't listen. So what he's asking us to do, if we have the mind of Christ, then we need to be long-suffering with people. And that just reminds me of my village growing up, even my adult village. There are some things, some behaviors I had as a kid. Somebody was long-suffering with me in the sense that they taught me. I kept making the same mistake. And I really, it wasn't a mistake. By this time, it's a habit. Okay? But they kept loving on me. They kept, every time they saw me, they wasn't just throwing, spoiling me or nothing. It was more like when they saw me, hey, what you doing this for? Are you still doing this? Okay, have you changed? What are you going to do? How's your relationship with God? How's your relationship with your children? How's your relationship with your brothers and your mother? I mean, I had a village that asked those questions. So when we are dealing with other people, we must be willing to be long-suffering. Because trust me, we want God to be long-suffering with us. I know I do. I need him to. So that's a short one, but that's what I'm talking about tonight. And I'm going to ask everybody to go look up the word long-suffering and patience, because it has, and it means endurance. It means patience. So, and it's a couple of more words that it actually means. I'm going to see, do I have my book? I have my book. Okay, so the words that they use in the Holman's Dictionary for long-suffering is endurance, steadfastness, long-suffering, and forbearance. They all equal patience. And so we have to be willing to be patient with each other. And I just want to thank you all for being patient with me off the top, because I know sometimes I'm just talking and y'all are steady listening. I appreciate it. But I'm just telling you, there's some things we got to be patient with in life. And I know how we do. Once we get an understanding, we want everybody else to already be on that level. It doesn't work like that. We have to be patient. We have to be kind. And we have to be nice. And kind and nice are 2 different things. But more importantly, we have to be long-suffering along with those things. And help bring understanding through our action, not necessarily our words. Does that make sense to anybody? Okay. Okay, so remember, be long-suffering this week. Okay, this is a great week. I'm on spring break, so I feel like doing a little dance. I'm on spring break. Anyway, You all have a great week at work. I'll be back to talk to you next week. Do not forget eventbrite.com. Okay, eventbrite.com. Fighting fear with fear. And okay, nothing else. That was it. All right, thank you. Have a great week. Be lifted up.